Biodiversity legislation and conventions. Biodiversity legislation and conventions. Primitive man also lived on biodiversity, developed unwritten code, and made sustainable use of biodiversity. Ancient peoples didn't have any code for the protecting of biodiversity, but that ancient peoples mean primitive man can utilize biodiversity and completed their life cycle. Many tribal tribes around the world still placed unwritten code, like in some deforest areas like Adivasi, Girijanas, like they are still placed in deforest areas without written code called unwritten code. To survival as human society and civilization evolving laws are being put in place to replace the written code. Environmental laws originated a few decades ago. In many countries, many environmental laws are present, and that laws text remain paper tigers. This reason for this due to government negligence or incompetence or asamardhata of government. Many countries having many environmental laws, but they are not in active mode. They are look like a text remain paper tigers. Biodiversity laws around the world began as separate subdivisions and establishing for the conservation areas for agriculture, forestry, and wildlife conservation. International biodiversity laws explain. International biodiversity laws have two phases. They are public, mean GOAT, and private. The first regulates the activities and relations that take place within and between countries through international government law. The second, private law enforcement also operates under government law and regulate the activities of the private and non-governmental organizations. International organizations perform the following functions. The first function is biodiversity of countries. Regular reports on conservation should be prepared. Second point, the lead the countries participating in the conference on issues related to the treaty towards empowerment. Third point, non-governmental organizations also allowed to attend and observe these meetings. The origins of international law can be traced back to the following four types. First point is international conventions. International conventions are conducted repeatedly about conservation of biodiversity. International customs. Every living organism having their traditional work, they are respected to internationally. General principles of law. Every country, every living organism having some own principles. They are implemented for the biodiversity protection or conservation. And fourth one, judiciary decisions. The protection or conservation of biodiversity under control of judiciary decisions only. So these are the some organizations, about legislations and conventions internationally. The main function of these legislations and conventions are gives more information about the conservation of biodiversity. They give an awareness on the protecting or conservation or preservation of biodiversity all over the world.